Welcome to Spin Justice with me, Hayley Owens, the podcast where I'll be talking about anything from health and fitness to the injustices of the world and everything in between. I've worked within the criminal justice system for over 20 years and have more recently taken to teaching indoor cycling, otherwise known as spin. Each week I'll be talking to a different guest about a topic that's personal to them, whether it be to raise awareness or just because. Most episodes will contain strong language because of who I am as a person, so if that's not for you, then probably best to swerve. Any opinions expressed by me are my own. PJ Ellis. Right, I've got first burning question. Is PJ your full government name?
No. It's Peter.
Oh.
Yeah. And you know what? You laugh. And I'm glad you did because I don't know whether I look like a Peter. You know, I don't know.
You look like a PJ.
Yeah, because I am PJ. That's the thing. So I get asked this quite a bit more than you think, but not as obvious as that. What's your real name? You know,
Yeah.
what do I put on your invoice or whatever it might be? Yeah. So it's Peter James Ellis.
Right.
And actually, what I did a talk the other day about personal branding, and people think, or rather, some people might think, that I called myself PJ off the back of Big Brother or something like that. I don't know, right? But no, I've always been called PJ, always. Literally, I can imagine my mum's just given birth to me in Marston Green Hospital, which isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne was born there.
Was it?
Yeah, man.
God bless
But when I
him.
was born there, I just knocked it down.
Yeah.
And I can imagine Mum holding me aloft like a bit Lion King-esque.
Yeah.
You know, this is Peter James Ellis. And my Auntie Janet from Tile Cross apparently was like, oh, PJ. And it just stuck. So I've got this brilliant photograph of me as a kid building a massive sandcastle and it says PJ on the beach. I've always been known. But the Peter thing, bizarrely, is a bit of a curse and an intrigue because there's this sort of Irish tradition in our family that the first male is born, when they're born, he's called Peter.
Right.
So my dad's Pete. I never met my grandparents, but he was Peter. So I think we've got down to Peter the 8th, no, Peter the 7th,
You've got a son?
who was called Blake.
Right.
But his real name's Peter.
No way.
Yeah.
So on the birth certificate, it's Peter.
Peter, yeah. Didn't want to break the chain, like, you know.
Of course.
And it was weird because when we went there, my wife knew the challenge I had, that I didn't want to break the chain. Good old Catholic boy and all that.
Yeah.
But when we got to the registrar, she was like, yeah, of course. And then she said, well, what about my dad? And I said, listen, I'm not naming him after my dad. It's the tradition. So bizarrely, on that moment, I didn't upset my wife, obviously. She's a lovely lady. So we called him Peter John Blake Ellis. So he's actually a PJ as well. But he'll never be called PJ. He's
And he's Blake?
Everyone knows him as Blake, yeah.
What a story.
It's a pretty cool one, isn't it?
It is
to be
a really
fair?
cool story.
I did say to Blake the other day, I said, look, you've got no pressure if you ever have a kid like. He said, no, I think it's ace. You know, I
Yeah.
want to keep it up. So let's see how far we can go, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Right, so you just mentioned Big Brother.
Oh, right,
So
yeah.
we just talked about it on the way up here. 2002, was it?
2002, yeah.
Yeah, so
23 years ago.
23 years.
Mad, isn't it? Half my life.
Was it the first one?
Third one.
Third one.
The best
'Cause
one, right?
It was the best one. It was the best one.
If you're judging it on the amount of people that watched it, as in, you know, it was the most
Watched.
viewed, yeah, Big Brother, yeah. And I think it was because, you know, it was pretty new the first 2 years, wasn't it? And then
Yeah.
by the third one, it was just like part of people's lives to a point. So yeah, I did it, 23 years ago.
What was it like? You
I
got
mean,
good
how
memories.
Long you got? It was amazing. Like, and it was amazing for a number of reasons. Like, I mean, I'm not entirely sure why I did it really, other than, you know, by the time I'd got asked to do it, my dad was very much like, you know, don't ever have a what if moment. So that was the main reason I did it. And I'm so glad I did that because I think the burden, if that's the right word, of me knowing I could have done it and not doing it, doesn't outweigh the experience I had from doing it, if that makes sense. I don't know whether I've articulated that properly, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm so glad I did it because off the back of it, you know, you get that little insight into what it is to be a proper like footballer, or, you know, for about 3 years, I felt like, you know, people knew me, and it was just the opportunities that came off that were crazy. But also I enjoyed it because I met some brilliant people.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about myself, you know, 22, 23-year-old kid going into a house for 60 odd days, you know, with nothing coming in. So like, you go to places you never thought you would, you know. So me and you, we sat in this room now for 4 days. We'd have all the standards out of the way: family, history, football team, whatever it might be. And then when you've got no sort of stimulation, like, you know, did you watch the EastEnders last night, Bab? You've got nothing to talk about. You go deep. future, past, the
Yeah.
now. So from an education point of view, I felt like I'd had like 60 days of counselling, like, but it was
Yeah.
great. It was really good fun. I was lucky. I'm so blessed to say that I never had any like argy-bargy off the back of it as well. Like no one attacked me or spat on me. A few people might have called me a whatever because
Yeah.
you go onto these bloody stages and, whatever. But I've seen people get like physically and verbally attacked that
Was
were
it
in my
Nasty
show.
Nick? Remember Nasty
No,
Nick?
he weren't in my show, but it
No,
was
not in your one, but he did, didn't
yeah,
he?
he was vilified. You play a role, don't you? You play like a character sort of thing.
Yeah.
And mine was like a bit of a lad when I wasn't really. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag, like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was amazing. I met some beautiful people like that. Alison and Kate were still best mates. Johnny, Jade, bless her. Jade was incredible. Like, she was vilified whilst we were in the house, and that's probably one of the reasons why I was evicted, because I never got a vote internally. I think I would have gone all the way. I wouldn't have won it, but I definitely would have got to the last 4 in relation to the dynamics, how it was working. But they changed that. I won't go into that. But luckily for Jade, and rightly so, the last few weeks she was in the house, the real Jade came out in the media and stuff. And she's actually a really lovely lady. And, I was staying in touch with her right until the day that she passed away, unfortunately.
Oh.
But yeah, lovely, lovely lady.
Yeah, lovely. And when you mention those names, then that's who I had in my head. When I recall that series, those are the ones, Jade, Kate, Alison.
Well, I could throw some other big ones at it as well, like Spencer, Alex, Lee, Sophie, Sandy. The big, big characters. I'll tell you what, the biggest struggle for me was when I was going through all this auditions and assessment days. I was at law school, but I was playing this sort of role which I thought they wanted me to play. Like, I'm a bit of a lad. Whoa, because I started to get this sort of confidence I'd never had. My dad again had said, "You can be whoever you want now, son." He didn't want me to change, but I was so socially awkward as a kid. I saw that as a bit of an instruction to come on, then let's be a boy. So when they started to keep inviting me back, that was a sort of bravado and sort of mask I'd put on. So I suspect they thought I was like an alpha male. But when I went in and there were real alpha, big characters, Kate Lawler, Alison, Johnny Regan, I retracted quite quickly. So the first 2 weeks for me was quite a challenge because it was just so loud. I was like, what's going on? Give me a book.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great experience.
Because I noticed last night there was an advert for it. It's coming back on.
Yeah, it's
28th
back on,
of this month.
Yeah, my phone's going off the scale.
And I was like, Big Brother's coming back on the 28th of this month. And I thought, could I do it? Could I apply for something like that? Could I spend a couple of months in a house? And then I thought, probably a piece of piss for me compared to what I do every day. Probably quite easy to. But then I thought, you're in a house full of characters.
Yeah.
It's going to be people you don't get on with.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you have to do all those challenges and stuff, don't you?
The challenges would be the good part, I would have thought.
Really?
We didn't have as many because I think the challenge, to use the word, to go into a place like that now, I'm so glad and grateful I was able to do it at that time.
Yes.
So it was the advent of social. So I didn't come out and have people from Newcastle that never met me go, fathead, or something like that, because I'd be freaked out. Like, Alison, Kate, they have to live that life now to a point.
Yeah.
But equally, I think back then it was a real social experiment. They spent a lot of time to see if me and you would get on, see if me and you would fancy each other, see if you'd get on with her, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
A lot of time into that. Now it's like, PJ, are you ripped? PJ, do you like, I don't know, tunnel gerbils up your, I don't know, whatever. Like, you meant, I'm not saying they're all mental that do it, far from it. That's a bad term, but I think there's less planning around that social experiment and more like car crash, get in there, have a laugh.
Come in, see what happens. Yeah.
And I'm not sure I'd be comfortable in that sort of environment.
Yeah, I reckon I could do it. I reckon I could.
Yeah, you could definitely do it. You've got a character. You're great at talking to people. You're good fun.
Yeah.
But I would question, why would you want to do it? Because you're going to put yourself in that space where you've got no control over who you are, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's what you sign up to, right? It's an entertainment show. And then you've got to live with that after that.
And I thought, would I be allowed to sleep a lot? Because I like to sleep a lot.
Well, in ours, they, you can do it, yeah, but they used to put the lights on it. We didn't know, there was no clock.
Of course.
There's no clock in this, so it was a bit bizarre, but they would literally put these lights on at a certain time. I think it was about 7 a.m. and it was bright as the brightest light you'll ever see.
And that was it, like,
you were
they
up,
stayed
like,
on.
pumping oxygen into the house, up you stay. They weren't doing that, by the way. But yeah, it's like, it's a set in it, so you're up. But yeah, it's different now. Like, you get more pleasures. I think you get, people are getting haircuts in these shows, aren't they? Not that I needed one, but we had no interaction. We had 3 rules that we were allowed Endemol or Big Brother to tell us. You know, we gave them 3 scenarios, and mine was like, you know, if the world war broke out, you know, any one of my family members passed away, or the law firm I was at the time, I was just about to start as a lawyer in the September. If they thought it was going to ruin my career, they could contact me, and I had none of those sort of like warnings, so I just cracked on and had a
so
good
you
time.
could do.
But that was the only
interesting.
things. I don't know whether that has changed now.
Oh,
I suspect
mine would be similar. Mine would probably be family.
Yeah, family first and all that. Yeah.
That'd probably be it. I won't give a fuck about anything else.
Yeah, to be fair, like, I mean, it different strokes for different folks, and it, like, you know, I'm also really grateful I did it when I was 22.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot less baggage, if that's the right word, or not baggage, but I cared less about what people thought about me then, I think. You know, once you start growing up a bit old, I started to worry a bit too much about what people thought. Maybe that was because of that. Bit of both, as I said. Like, I was, you know, I don't know whether people are listening to this from. I went to Archbishop Grimshaw school in Chelmsford Wood, and a lot of people, even mates that I knew then, would probably be shocked at this. Most of them wouldn't, because they know me better than most. But I was quite a socially awkward, shy kid, like really shy. Like, the reason why I think people might not think that is because what they see now after Big Brother, the confidence, but I'm not a confident guy, really. I've got used to what it feels like and looks like to be confident. But I just retreat from, I was a footballer, so I was in with the crowd, like, you know, the lads, which is the most amazing thing, because they've been brilliant as I've grown up, always looked out for me. But I'd be retracting then into my safe space, which was like academia and learning and library and stuff like that. So yeah, I've just I've been a weird and wonderful sort of 46 years.
Yeah. So I feel like so from Big Brother, you'd obviously see a character, like you say, you play a role, don't you?
Yeah.
So what has happened from then to now? Where have you been? Because I see you online. I obviously follow your Instagram. I see you do like bits on the radio and things like that. So what is it what are you doing now?
I'm trying to work that out myself, mate. To be fair, it's like you know. So I went back into law. So
did you?
Yeah, practiced as a lawyer for 8 years
after Big Brother.
Yeah. So I had probably about 3 years off, sort of living the life.
Yeah.
I made quite a lot of money, and I haven't got none of that left.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad, not glad, but you know, you're where you're supposed to be in life, aren't you? And that experience I had for those 3 years, the cars, the house, the experiences, you know, that was part of my journey, and it was amazing.
Absolutely.
There's things I'd change, but most I wouldn't. But yeah, so after about 3 years, I thought, right, I've got to draw a line in this. It was an experience that I never really wanted to use for anything else. I wasn't an actor, I wasn't a singer, like I couldn't model, you know, all that sort of stuff. So it was never a platform. I was always going to go back into law. But it lasted a lot longer than I thought. But at the point when I got asked to, like, oh, do you want to come to Beauty and the Beast? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, will you be the Beast? I thought, right, I've got to draw a line under this now. Just like put a Beast hat on and invite people in. No. So I was like, all right, let's get back to law. And so I did law for 8 years, hated it, didn't enjoy it. You know,
that's a long time to stick at something that you hate, isn't it?
Well, I say 8 years. It was obviously, well, I'd done my university, that was 3 years. Then 2 years training contract I had to do. That was after Big Brother. I'd done my year law school. And then I practiced for about 6 or 7 years. So it's quite a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah, being around the law. But I just didn't like it, mate. It was something, it's a bit deep in it, but I didn't really know what my why was then. You know, I just thought football or money, you know, and certainly what football wasn't going to give me that. Law might, and it did. It afforded me a lovely life. You know, you earned quite a bit of money. I was at a good firm, all that sort of stuff. But I just wasn't happy. And my wife noticed that very quickly, and I quit. So since then, I've had marketing companies. I've had online sweet shops. I've had online wedding video companies, sort of thing. Not for long periods of time. A cycling jersey shop online. I've always been that entrepreneur where I've tried to do loads of different things, which has been really interesting. But then I found marketing. Which has been great. I had a business for about 6-7 years, the main marketing business, and we sold that. I'm not in Barbados or anything like that. It was just my business partner wanted to do other things, and I wasn't interested in marketing anymore, to be fair. But that was really enjoyable. But I think the best part of that journey so far has been like charity. I've
Oh,
really,
okay.
really enjoyed. I set up a charity with a mate called Love Brum about 12 years ago, and that's going amazingly well. I'm not involved with that anymore. After 10 years, I walked away, but that was voluntary. It was just amazing. Loved that. I loved what you're able to do when you bring people together.
Oh,
and
yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes you sleep a bit better at night and all that sort of stuff.
People are amazing. The majority, I say this
100%.
all the time, it's only ever that small minority that let the side down. The
Yeah.
majority of people, bearing in mind, I've done house-to-house inquiries in some shitholes. You knock on every single door, and the majority of people that answer those doors are lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll invite you in, they'll put the kettle on.
100%,
It's
100%.
only the very, very small 1% that let the side down.
100%. So like I learnt the power of community, like going to school in Chelmsford Wood. I was born in Castle Brom. You know, these are people, including my mum. My mum was the biggest giver. Like, you know, she would always give first. That was the fundamentals that she taught us as kids. Like, you know, open that door, let people through first. You know, if they pull you through, great. If not, you've done your thing. You know, and that, I think that was born in me. And then I realised the power of community in Castle Brom and Chelmsford Wood, where these people would respond to local tragedies or community projects, and they'd give you, you know, their last £2, you know, shirt off their back, all that sort of stuff. And that really empowers me to connect those sort of people to make a change. And that's what I've been able to do with Love Brum. Brilliant project that supports hidden gem projects in different communities, that fixes things around homelessness, people in crisis, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So, and then since then, I suppose, what else have I done?
Well, hang on, I want to go back because you mentioned your wife. You've mentioned your wife seeing that you weren't happy in law.
Yeah.
But at which point did you meet her?
So I met my wife, interesting, yeah. Just started my career in law, really.
Okay.
So literally, it was after Big Brother. It was probably about 3 years. When did I meet Carl? She's going to kill me now. So we've been married 15 years, and we've been together for about 3 years before we were married. So that's 2007. So I met her about 5 years after Big Brother.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd just been going back into law down in London. Bless her, she was dropping me off and stuff like that. But she was in the radio at the time. She was a radio producer, did a bit of DJing, but her main love was producing.
Okay.
She was produced like on Heart FM for Ed James and Rachel New and Sarah J and me and stuff. But she loved that. And she was wicked, like, well, she still is. Very lucky I met her, because she's been like that sort of consistent.
Yeah.
That real rock.
The rock
for
that
me.
we need.
Yeah, and you don't realise until you're a bit older, but yeah, she's just been amazing. I've been going through a personal sort of bereavement with my mum. We lost mum 15 months ago, and yeah, I've been so lucky in that network that I've got that supported me, and it all comes back to my family and her. You know, she's been amazing. So yeah, but she's just always encouraged me. Like, she's always backed me. So with Love Brum, yeah, go and do it. You know, recently the BBC got in touch, 4 weeks before we lost Mum, and that's been amazing. You know, it's just been incredible. Now DJing, it's presenting, darling, presenting shows and stuff. You know, got the face for radio, all that sort of stuff. Which is amazing. And I look back, and there's probably loads of other bits and bobs that I've been doing. Help Kelly grow her mortgage bad business. You know, I'm setting up little podcasts myself at the moment. Another project around, you know, blokes that are suffering with grief. So I like to keep busy, but I do know now that the way I keep busy now are on projects that allow me to play with purpose, but also, and I've overpaid for it, and bless Mum, she's certainly overpaid for it. I play with this perspective now that really allows me to do things that I really enjoy with people I admire and trust and value. Yeah. And for the right reasons. And that all comes back to family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Kelly's your wife, yeah?
Yeah.
And so you met her, you've gone through that, so we're going to fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, man.
I do want to talk about the radio.
All right.
Because I think I'd be good on the radio.
Yeah.
Everything.
Why do you think that?
Everything that comes on, I'll be good at that, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I'll be good at that, wouldn't I?
But you know what I like about that? You're backing yourself with that, you know, and I think there's so many people that don't. So when I'm on my deathbed and someone says to me, why don't you stick at law? You would have had a great pension. And
yeah.
I'd give all of those trappings of success that I used to think were material, you know, the watches, the cars, the houses, whatever it might be, to spend a second with my mum, right?
Yes.
And I think sometimes people think that's the way, that the safe option. I'm not saying it's not the way.
Yeah.
But I'm so lucky that I've been able to have this brain that overthinks, or a wife that encourages, or the opportunities that come to me that have allowed me this squidgy sort of career path. Because if I hadn't have got that, I wouldn't have lent into all those confidences that deep down I know. So you're saying I'm good at that. I'm like that. I could do that.
I
could
back
do
myself
that.
100%.
Yeah, good.
I don't know who I think I am.
No,
Honestly.
no. This is what we need to do. I think. I mean, it'd be World War III if we all backed ourselves. But some people have got. I'm sure anyone that's listening to this now would resonate with them. You know, there's often times where you think, I'd love to do that. And
I never think. Do you ever get people that go, oh, I could never do that. I couldn't do that. I'm the opposite.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. But I bet deep down they either would like to do it, or they've either done that to themselves with other things. Oh, you know what? I could do that, but no, best not. So I love that confidence. You should do it.
Everything and anything. I'm like, I could do that.
Well, you're broadcasting now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, it is a skill. A lot of people just probably think that you're talking and having a laugh. You know, it's all about making sure you resonate with the person. Let that person tell their story. That was one of the best advices I got from the BBC.
Yeah.
Just because you're interviewing somebody, let them tell you their story. That's what it's all about. It's not you.
Right, okay.
You are facilitating those conversations. And,
yeah.
But the radio's great, mate, if you get a chance to do it, because I get so much out of it. To be able to sit in a studio, say I'm not interviewing someone face to face, and I'm talking on my own to hundreds of thousands of people. It's a real privilege, but also it's a great outlet for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm just
talking's therapy.
Just talking is therapy, yeah, 100%, yeah.
Tell you what, I'd even do it. I wouldn't even mind doing it voluntary, turning up to see what goes on.
Yeah, man.
And like,
contact the BBC.
I'm going to do it.
I'll have a quick chat with them.
Have a little chat.
Set your own one up. You know, you've got all the kit here. Honestly, there's a brilliant station. I'm gonna make a mockery of this now. Can't remember the lady's name. She's wicked, and it's Rockabella Radio or something in London. It's like it's a pirate. I don't know. It's independent radio on the side of a bar. What's it called? She's lovely. I follow her on Instagram, and I think she's working for the BBC now. Off the back of it, it was like a little cupboard on the side of a bar. She used to set it up, play random punk and rock and random songs, and she'd have people coming in, all that, like, you know, the publicans, is that the right word? People like frequenting the pub, having a little banter with her. I'm sure it's Rockefeller Radio or something, or Boobarella, something like that. But yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'd be good because I love music as well.
Yeah.
So the music side of it's huge for me.
You'd have to pick the right station then, because like there's sometimes you're like, and coming up, you know, in the next day you've got, and you think, oh, I'm not too sure about that. But
if I'm at home, like I put on Kiss.
Yeah. Good old Kiss, mate.
It on for the dog.
Kisstory. Back in the days, remember that?
So like now, when I'm out, I'll leave it on. But there's two blokes. I've got a feeling it might be like those from Diversity. Do they do radio?
Possibly, because a lot of these local stations now are being networked out of London. So the talent, I hate that, but that's what they call, like, you know, the talent within the Midlands and all the localities across the country are being, I don't know, it's really difficult in radio at the moment because they're just I'm not saying they aren't talented, by the way, but the celebrities or the people with followings and stuff like that. So you'll see like Radio 2, for instance, you know, you probably know their names before you know their voices, sort of thing, and faces, if that makes sense. Not saying they're not brilliant broadcasters, because I love Radio 2.
These two lads are brilliant.
Yeah, well, there we go.
They are. I don't know who they are, but I've got a feeling they might be linked to Diversity.
Cool, man. Wicked.
I don't know, but because you can't see them, can you? But I howl at them.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
It's again the power of radio, isn't it? The power of conversations. You know, people have you. I'm in people's kitchens. Like, it's bizarre. I went to see a lady who always WhatsApps the show. And I actually went to see her, Linda in Solihull, man. And I'm thinking, wow, I now know what your kitchen looks, feels, smells like.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from that little thing in the corner, which she's obsessed with. You know, so the power of like communication, storytelling, broadcasting. I'm very, very lucky to be able to do that.
I feel like we might be losing it a little bit with things like, you know, people now play, if I'm in the car. Yeah. I would listen to a Spotify or podcast. I wouldn't necessarily put the radio on. So I feel like it's probably a lot less.
And this is why it's been networked out of London. So a lot of these things are going there because they're running them as commercial organisations. They're saying, well, actually, it's obvious now that people are consuming these stories or listening, whatever it might be, slightly differently. And I'm exactly the same. You know, everyone's listening to podcasts now, aren't they? You know, you can get that through platforms like BBC and whatever it might be, but equally you're just whacking them through Spotify, aren't you, or Apple or whatever.
Exactly that.
Exactly what you're doing here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Taking over the world, mate. I love it.
I am.
You are, mate. You're everywhere.
I know.
You're like a nice rash on my algorithm. It's cool. No, but that's what you got to do, isn't it?
You've got to.
You know, I think the guests you've had are amazing. Like some of them, Like, what I find interesting about podcasts like this is that, well, most podcasts I listen to, and I don't listen to many, I consume podcasts slightly differently to what I always thought I would. I take the short form clips, like I listen to them, and often I'll then listen to the 30 minutes here and there. But like, you'll find that you, not just you, but I will say you as well, the guests that you have on are those people that you think you know through social media.
Yeah.
Either do know, like Glyn and Charlie, I know them, but then you get things out of them that make them real, and it resonates with people. So you get the story behind the celebrity sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Exactly that.
And it resonates. You know, it's people just take things from these conversations, and that's why they're so powerful.
Yeah, it is massively. So I want to come on to what we've sort of, or you've sort of touched upon, just, you know, in the last sort of 10, 15 minutes, and it's your mom.
Yeah.
So Mommy's Boy Club.
Yeah, Mommy's Boy, yeah.
So tell us about that. Tell us a bit more about what happened. You know, you're obviously close to your mom. You lost her 15 months ago.
Yeah.
And the journey that you've been on since, and the stuff that I'm going to need your advice on, because, and I did send it in the plan to you.
The anticipatory grief. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, let's talk about that first, because
Right.
did you have it?
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
So before you lost your mom.
Yeah.
And it's called anticipatory grief.
I now know it as that through like counselling and reading around the subject and stuff, but it is exactly what it says on the tin. I had this fear of losing my mum.
And I've got it.
Yeah, okay. So there's loads of complexes that you might, you know, the Oedipus complex that you want to kill your dad to be with your mum. There's loads of like...
I don't do that.
No, I know, I know, normally it's bizarre, but there are so many readings around that sort of relationship that someone has with their mum.
Yeah.
That I'm now a little bit more au fait and like in tune with those. But back then it was just me panicking. You know, I'm an overthinker. Like I'm sure now if I was young now, I'd be, you know, not pigeonholed, but I'd have something, you know, some ADHD, whatever it might be. And in a weird way, looking back, I wish I did, because it gives you a platform, I suppose, to lean into help and whatever it might be. But back then, I used to overthink that much and I think it's probably from the learning, the reading, that I would stay awake, and I've never been a good sleeper, you know, thinking about the pain I'd be in when giving birth. You know, I don't have a womb. You know what I mean? It was that I overthought that much sort of thing. And I think that led into death. I was scared of dying. I'm less scared of dying now, having seen someone die. Never seen anyone die, but obviously seeing my first best mate die, my mum. I'm less scared of it.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't want to die. So all that existed forever. I love living. I love life. You know, I had faith. I'm struggling a little bit with what that is now, seeing mum go the way she did. But yeah, so I just used to manifest. I used to almost not manifest mum dying, but think of mum dying. You know, what would I say at her funeral? What does it look like? You know, when is that going to happen? Have I said enough? So it's been a help and a hindrance. So the hindrance is I'd be crying in the shower or panicking. You know, I had serious panic attacks about dying, but it was all born out of thinking of mum or dad dying.
Yeah.
Mainly mum, sorry, dad. I'm joking. But and then actually went, so and it without being sort of blasé, if I could say one thing and click a switch to you, I'd just say there's no point, mate, because I'm going through it now and I can't even articulate the pain I'm going through now.
Yeah.
So it's the pain I was going through then and the time I attributed to crying and getting upset and worrying. There's no point. The only point is, and this is what I'd say can come out of that worry and fear and panic, is that it lent into me making sure I told her how much I loved her.
Yes.
I always was grateful. I wish I'd done more. But I know, and that's the regret with lowercase r when you lose someone, you romanticize, you know, should I have done more? I know I did enough. I spoke to her every day. I told her I loved her every day.
Yeah.
But what I would say to people now, if you have got that fear, allow that to make good things come from it. You know, call your mum and say, love you, mum, right?
Yeah.
Now, what'll happen is, I used to phone mum, I love you, mum, right? And I used to come home pissed sometimes and hug her and cry. And I mean, literally a year before we lost her, I'd come in drunk and I hugged her and I said, Mama, are you okay?
Yeah,
Are you okay? I don't know whether I sensed it, and I cried and she was like, get her, you pisshead, like, you know, get away. But what I would say to people now is, and I wish I'd done this, and you do it as a parent, if someone said, I love you, Dad, You say, oh, no, I know. But I wish I'd turned around and said, no, Mum, listen, this is why I love you.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just because you're my mum. I love you because you backed me. I love you because you understood me. I love you because you've done everything for me. I love you because, and I just wish I'd been able to do that. I think she knew deep down.
Of course she did.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. But sometimes I think as a human, listen to the power of that. You talk about giving people their flowers, whilst you're with them.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's, I love you. It's not flippant because I meant it, but articulate why you love them.
And it's because it's so regularly said. So it it almost does seem flippant because we band it around in our house. So in my house, there's just me and the boys.
Yeah.
And we must say it 50 times a day.
Yeah, love you, Bab. Yeah.
Love you, bye. Love you, bye.
Yeah.
Above my front door, there's a sign that says, love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Yeah, love that.
And
I used to say that all the time. Love you, bye.
Yeah.
See you in the morning.
Yeah.
But
good night, love you.
Yeah.
All right. So they stayed at the dad's last night. So I phoned them this morning. I've done my spin class. I'm walking the dog. I looked at the time, right, they'll be on the way to school. Give them a quick ring. Are you walking to school? Yeah. Are you both together? Yeah. Have you had breakfast? Just typical mum shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick you up from dad's because their dad's moved quite close to the school. So
Okay.
I'll pick you up from dad's after. Okay, love you, bye.
Love
you.
that,
And they say it.
Love
and
that.
do you know what I really, really love? They say it in front of their mates.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, fair play.
So they've had a lot of sleepovers in the holidays where my house is full of teenage boys.
Yeah.
And they'll still say, love you.
Yeah, it's important. And I think, mummy's boy, I suppose I was very much like that growing up. I'd make sure I said I love mum in public, give her a kiss, dance with her, hug her, sit by her. All the photos now, I found it quite difficult to reminisce and reflect, like looking at photos. I can look at photos now. I haven't looked at videos yet. But every photo I'm with her, like every photo, like just naturally I'm drawn to this woman. And I'm glad I did that. But the mummy's boy stuff was actually whilst I was doing that, and certainly when I got a bit older, girls, because there is that. Like my wife's been amazing, but I assume there's that, not like a competition, but like your fella's first love is probably his mom. It's another female sort of thing. My mum and Kelly got on like a house on fire. She was the one that her and my sister said to me, Kelly's the one. Like, you could just tell how good she was for us. But yeah, so I was almost ridiculed. Like, oh, your mummy's boy. You're calling your mum every day. And like, you take it on the chin, like, yeah, maybe I'm a mommy's boy. But and so there was quite a derogatory sort of feel around that term.
Yeah.
But I'm desperate now to make sure that it's a good, positive thing. Yeah, I'm proud to have been a mommy's boy. I'll always be a mommy's boy. I'm going to say her name. They say you die twice, don't you? When you stop, your heart stops, or the person says your name for the last time. And mommy's boy is about making sure that never happens. The second bit, we'll always say their names. It's basically a safe, brave community for blokes who have lost their mum. So I was looking for support when I lost mum. There's some brilliant mental health projects out there, and this Man Club, the walk and talk groups, all this sort of stuff. But I couldn't see. Obviously I'm struggling with my mental health, but it's but I thought, I'm not addicted to anything. It's not because of that. I'm not suicidal. I've asked myself that. I did ask myself that very quickly, because I always thought, and I said to Cal, I always said, when I lose my mum, just leave me. Because I'm going to go down the shed and blow my head off. Like, I will go into a bad space. Yeah. And I have, but I've never wanted to kill myself. I've had to ask myself that question very quickly. And I've helped a couple of friends do that. But basically what's been weird was we lost mum in June. My best mate lost his mum in July.
June 24.
Yeah. My best mate lost his mum the month after. And then my other best mate lost his mum 3 months after that.
Jesus.
So lads, 3 14-year-old lads, 30 years ago, 32 years ago, mucking about on the playground, didn't know that 32 years later we'd all lose our mums within 6 months. And I was walking through Sutton Park, the three of us. I was crying my eyes out because I'm like I'm an emotional peach. I cry at John Lewis adverts, sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And we all show grief differently, yeah. And I thought, you know what? This is really helpful. Like, I'm sitting in the mud with blokes that have gone through the same thing. I might not be able to look at it face to face and talk about it, but I can definitely sit next to you and talk about it side by side.
Yes.
And I thought there's something in this. So I launched Mummy's Boy. And actually, the response has been that good. I've struggled to move it forward. So we're having loads of private conversations with blokes that have struggling.
Yeah.
Blokes that have never been able to talk about it. Blokes that, you know, a lot of the conversations have started with blokes' partners. So I've had loads of wives to contact me
Yes.
going, A, B and C struggled for the last 3 years. You know, my fella lost his mum 20 years ago, never spoke about it, but I find him crying in the shed, you know, all this sort of stuff.
Oh,
So the response has been that big. I've sort of struggled as to what my next step will be, but I'm going to keep it real simple. We're going to go on walks. We're going to play footy, game of golf, whatever it might be. Just blokes coming together, spitting sawdust, cup of coffee.
yeah.
Let's have a chat. Let's make sure we're all right. Let's make sure we're safe.
Because do you know what? You can't fix it. It's
No.
that hole's there, isn't it? Like, but I suppose just helping day by day, putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know because I've not been there, and this is like another thing. I can't empathise or sympathise because and I dread it. I do dread it, and like you said, there's no point.
Well, there is, but I understand that you can't control that. You lost grandparents.
Yes, but they were really old. So like my nan died a couple of years ago and she was like 95.
Yeah.
She really hung on to the end. Obviously that's me seeing my mum lose her mum.
Of course, yeah.
And so that's upsetting in that respect. And then my dad's mum died when she was 90. Okay. So again, they were really old and it weren't, do you know,
I'm going through it, I think sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there, Mucka, but I think it's just helpful in the sense that, like, literally, I'd say 6 weeks ago, I couldn't have spoke to anyone about my mum as long as I'm doing now without crying. Like, I cry every day. I'm not sleeping very well. I'm in a bad place. Yeah. But I'm safe because of the network I've got around me, my family structure, my sister and my brother and my brother. I said my mum. My dad are just so strong. Yeah. And they're going through their hell as well. So we're really close in that sense. But my friends and family have been amazing. And these blokes I'm now talking to are amazing because they get it. They completely understand. So it might manifest or articulate itself slightly differently. You know, the panics, when you have a wobble, the triggers. You know, the other day I was cutting a cucumber and I was on the floor.
What was it?
Just because she taught me how to cut and make a salad.
Okay.
And you know, so 1 second I'm chop. Next minute on the floor crying, panicking. I'm thinking, what's going on? And that was my trigger. Yeah. So then you'll talk to somebody about that and they'll go, yeah, I'm doing that. And have you tried these soothing techniques? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And actually, it's just so powerful in the sense that, you know, male loneliness is going through the roof, male suicide's off the charts. And if we can come together just to make sure we're okay, I think we've done so. And it's all born out of mum. Honestly, some of the stuff that people told me on mum's funeral, she was like a celebrity, man. There was like 600-700 people there. It was ridiculous. Like, and mum and dad would have ran football teams in Kingshurst, so a lot of the lads came. Yeah. And they're proper hard knock, good, honest, you know, not all of them super honest, but like good lads.
Salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth, lovely, lovely people. And some of the things they said to me and my dad, like, I will not be able to tell you those because I would cry, but mum moved them in a way that they were either their second mum because they didn't have a mum, or she helped them find faith. You know, she gave them some money when she needed it. Yeah. When one of the lads was murdered, the main boy phoned my mum first. Yeah, they were always around my mum's house, like, you know, because they found she was just so loving, so helpful. Yeah. She just knew when people need to talk. She would be the person that would go to a coffee shop, right? Yeah. And say if the toilet's there, I'd be talking. She'd, I'm just going to the toilet, Bab. Yeah. And she'd go all the way around here because she'd spot an old guy in the corner she wanted to talk to. And then I'm just going to the toilet. No, you're not. You've met that. And then Dave over there is going to join us. And then 2 weeks later, she'd be like, remember that Dave? I went round to see his mum. What? Yeah. You know, not like that, but she was just so giving and helpful and lovely. And I'm going to try and represent her as much as I can moving forwards. And that's a similar tune to what I'm hearing with other lads. Yeah,
it will be. Couple of questions. What was her name?
Marion.
Yeah. Because all through, I know your dad's Pete now.
Yeah, dad's
Pete. And your wife's Cal.
Pete, yeah.
But I didn't know your mum's now, so Marion. When did she die? In June? What date?
13th of June, yeah.
And this is going to sound, unlucky for some, popular birthday day, that is.
Is it?
I know a lot of people with that birthday, yeah. And this is going to sound like a really strange question to you. Yeah. But what's your star sign?
Leo.
Okay.
She was Virgo, September. Yeah.
Because that, for me, I know some people are going to be like, oh, fucking hell, what's she going on about now? And it's not. It's just that when you describe yourself, I can see a lot of me in you. Okay. I'm a Cancer.
All right.
And I was thinking, God, this is like the male version of me.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish I had your hair. and the fact that you're in proportion. We're saying these. Look, I've got 28 inch inside legs, mate. Like, trousers like a flag. Okay, why did you ask that then? Because you think we're very similar.
Yeah. I thought you were similar.
So what's your mum's name?
Dawn.
Dawn.
Dawn, eh?
I used to fancy Dawn French, man.
I love Dawn French.
Honestly, when I came out of Big Brother, one of the most surreal things, other than hanging around with Ricky Gervais and all that, was literally I was walking down the road and filming something at Elstree Studios. Dawn French came out of another studio. I was like, oh my word, we grew up on like French and Saunders.
Yes,
Mum and Dad loved her, and she was like, oh PJ. And ran over and gave me a hug. I was like, oh my word. And these were like sort of before the days of like selfies and stuff. But Dawn.
I love Dawn French and I love Jennifer Saunders. And do you know what?
Wicked.
A few years ago, I want to say I may be a little bit heartbroken, but looking back, I don't think I was.
Yeah.
But anyway, I ended up going on holiday on my own with the kids, not the three of us. We're in Turkey. And I felt a bit shit because this relationship that I'd been in had come to an end. And I thought, I just need to fucking pull myself together on this holiday. So the kids were off, making friends. I'm on my own on the Sun Lounger. And I read Jennifer Saunders' autobiography and it fixed me.
Really?
I swear to God.
In what sense? Fix what?
Well, I don't know whether it just... I went on holiday feeling a bit shit and I came home not feeling shit.
Just funny?
Funny and serious in parts.
Yeah.
But I read that book and I felt like I was so glued to this book on the holiday that I was just lying in the sun reading. The kids were having a nice time and it took my mind off what I was thinking.
Cool. Yeah.
I do a lot of reading.
Do you? What are you reading at the moment?
I'm reading a Martina Cole book at the minute. Do you know her book?
I think my mum is she like is it criminal?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Mum used to be not Barbara Cartlet, not Barbara Streisand. It was Catherine Cookson. Catherine Cookson.
My mum used to read hers. So Martina Cole, funny enough, my ex-mother-in-law, Viv, so Tom's mum, she put me onto Martina Cole probably 20 years ago.
She's still alive?
Get
her on?
Yeah.
Martina, mate, get on the old pod, bab.
Do you know what? The one I'm reading at the minute, it's about like, it is like London Underground here, but it's all about sex workers, about this bloke that hates them, and like, it's a chapter will be like, say, Nancy the street worker. And then the next chapter will be like Joseph who fucking hates them.
Oh, sweet.
And it's how he's thinking.
Yeah.
And it's like he's talking to them because they don't know that he hates them.
Got you.
So he's talking to them like, playing along. But then it shows what he's thinking.
Cool. I like that.
And it'll tell like, oh, I can't believe the filthy whore thinks that I actually like her. And it's like so gripping.
Yeah. Have you read Thursday Murder Club?
No, but that's on my list.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. So you'll get an insight into the individual. So you'll get the story, then you'll get a chapter about Joyce, and she'll set the scene from her sort of. I've always found that fascinating. I don't know if it's me overthinking, but I cannot understand, and I get it a bit more now since we lost Mum, but that you are a human, it freaks me out.
Yeah,
you are living. You're seeing me at the moment. I'll never understand what it'd be like to be you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it sort of made me appreciate now that we are on our own in this world. We're not.
Yeah.
We are brilliant networks and families and stuff like that, and we're very grateful for that, and I'm very lucky, but we come into this world on our own. We leave very much on our own.
Oh yeah, we've nothing as well,
and that's the thing. If I think about that too much, I get really nervous, but it encourages me and liberates me. But I feel sad for Mum. I hope she's not on her own.
She's not.
Yeah.
So I also did I've done episodes and touched on spirit guides and stuff. Do you believe in that?
I'm getting to feel it. Yeah. Well, you know what, mate, I'm bloody leaning into it. If I see a robin, I think it's Mum.
Yes,
because
feather.
Why not a feather? It's Mum. Why not? Because two things: wherever we're going, none of this shit matters, and we don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
So why not just believe something that? And you know what, mate? I know it sounds silly, but I asked for a robin. I know I've got loads of mealworms. I'm joking, and he'll come in.
I'm telling you,
the garden, man.
No, I'm telling
Mom,
you,
come and say hello, will you, Bab? And the wind lifts up, and the robin comes in. I'm just on my knees.
No, honestly, that's your spirit guide. Your mum's your spirit guide, isn't it, Carl? Yeah. Carl didn't believe.
Yeah.
Did you?
No. Why is it a robin though?
No, well, that's you. That's yours. So for someone else, it might be a feather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The feather I get because my sister's like literally said, "There's no way that feather could have been where I was at that time, at that moment." Yeah. That is definitely. And I'm thinking, and me and Rach, I don't want to get emotional, but I believe it. Yeah.
Well, I believe it. I've always believed it, but ever since I had Katie Hellywell on, and she has got all five senses connected to spirits. So some people might, I feel like something's walked over the grave, right? Or they might smell something, or they they might actually be able to see spirits or they might hear them.
Yeah.
But she's got all 5 senses connected to the spirit world.
Wow.
And she's very successful with what she does. And she talked about it. So she said, you will have a spirit guide with you. So when you say, give me a sign, man, just give me a sign, she's there.
Yeah.
And I massively believe it.
Mad. Like the wind lifts, like I've done it a number of times. I'm in a wind tunnel when it happened. I'm joking. Like,
yeah,
genuinely,
got the fan on.
Yeah, you got to put the fan on. But yeah, I mean, I hope she's okay. She lost her mum on her 7th birthday, and she always had pain around that. And I hope she's okay. Well, I was able to say goodbye. She didn't know because we lost her very quickly.
Right.
So I haven't unpacked that yet. You know, I didn't know she was ill.
Yeah.
And then she died. You know, it was bizarre.
And that's like when you said about grandparents. With us or with me, it's been, well, you know, she's been poorly, she's 95, she's been going downhill for a couple of years, so it's been expected. So when it's like unexpected, that's like a double whammy, isn't it? Because you then got to get over that, and then you've got to enter into your grief.
How old's Dawn?
Dawn is 67.
Okay, Mum was 66 when she died. So yeah.
So Dawn's recently got a bus pass and a pension.
Cool.
We're very pleased about.
Yeah.
And Dad's a year older, 68. And when I look at them, and like, I know they sometimes listen to this, but Dad's very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like I look at him and I think you're a heart attack waiting to happen, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Whereas my mum's actually quite healthy.
Yeah.
But she had a heart attack, I want to say 8 years ago. And, she, you know, like that's always worried us.
Yeah, slowed her down a little bit as well.
Yeah, and because, you know, and that was then a shock, like, shit, what if I lose my mum?
Yeah.
And that was like 8 years ago. But I feel like, you know, you said you'd imagine in the anticipatory grief, the funeral or whatever. I do. And it's songs and stuff that get me. Because I think if it's music, and I think, I remember my mum, I was listening to a song once and my mum saying to me, I want this played at my funeral. And it's always with me. But every time it comes on the radio or Spotify, I'm like, shit, skip it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm struggling. Dad can't listen to music. I struggled listening to certain artists. One of the favourite artists was like Paolo Nutini.
Yeah.
So we were playing that when when we knew she was dying. That was the most horrendous hour of my life. I'm struggled listening to some of his stuff. Rod Stewart, big fan. We took her into the church to Rod Stewart, and yeah, music's a killer, man. Like, because it's so moving, isn't it? It's so emotive.
Exactly.
But you know what? I think one thing that I'm really so Dawn, what's your dad's name?
Gary.
Dawn and Gary, mate. Follow your parents' suit, because what I wish had happened was I'd never had any grandparents, so I've never been able to see I would have loved a nan, like see someone grow old, right? And at the moment, I'm really angry. I'm going through that angry stage.
Yeah.
So she's got 3 older siblings. One's 80, one's 76. The other we don't see. But I think she's in her 70s. So she was the youngest. She had probably, it's not a competition, but she had a real tough life. She just drew down her first pension, and you know, she passed away within that month, I think, or the next month. And she was so looking forward to having her little independence and looking after people. I mean, I was so lucky. Dad retired quite early, so they had good 10, 11, 12 years not having to work. So they spent time with the grandkids. But I so wish, and this is why I'm less scared of dying and a bit more comfortable around the death thing. And I want people to talk more about death. We don't do that as a culture, I don't think.
No.
We're scared of it, you know. It's only a small part of our lives in a weird way. It feels like a massive part, but it's only a small part of Mum's life. Her death was. And I'm trying to remember like all the brilliant things. But I just wish she'd lived a bit longer. I just would have loved her. Because I think, don't get me wrong, I want my mum forever. But if she'd been 90, I'd understand.
Yes.
I'd understand.
Like me and my
grandparents. I don't understand now. I don't understand, because she's been robbed from seeing her grandkids. That was her heaven on earth. That's my brother said that, Tom. And he's bang on. Her grandkids were her heaven on earth. And she deserved to see my son grow older and my nieces and nephews grow older. She deserved it. She was a brilliant person.
Yeah.
And I just wish we were, yeah. I think there's
You're choking me. I've only cried once on this pod, and it was around grief.
Yeah.
And it was a lady whose baby died.
All right.
And but yeah, I feel like really choked. And
well, there's no competition in death, and that, you know, when you hear that, you think, you know, I will be grateful for the fact that Mum not only was born, but had 66 years and saw all the things that she did. But I just feel robbed. I just wish that, because I think, and God, I can only imagine what that guest feels like, you know. And there's no competition in grief, but there's something that connects us all when we talk about it, and it is that loss and the future thinking and all that. But what I wished, I mean, this is a selfish thing, but more so for her, because I'm just so gutted for her, is that, you know, I think what you do in life, there's 3 stages with your parents. I think you idolize them. So you grow up and I was obsessed with my mom. She was the most turned out, beautiful looking person growing up. She was absolutely stunning. I don't know how my dad did it, to be fair. Banter. He had the banter, my old man. My brother and my sister take after my mum. Beautiful Italian looking models, and I take after my dad. He's got too much skin for his face, like an Irish navvy, like, you know. He's a brilliant bloke, man. He's struggling. It just fucking breaks my heart seeing him apart. But so you idolise your parents, you demonise them, because, like, what you doing, mum? You're not letting me out, all that.
Yeah.
And then I was so looking forward to humanising her. Like,
Yeah.
what's your favourite song? I knew it to a point, but where do you want to go in life? Because I found it difficult sometimes talking to mum, because I always felt like, not difficult talking to her, but really going into the detail, because I was fearful that, am I having the chat here that she's going to die next week or something? It was bizarre, but I would implore, that's the word of the day, just to sit. Those are the moments I miss so much, sitting with mum. And I was so looking forward to going to a little cafe with. I've said to Kelly now, I said, Cal, listen, because she knew that's what I wanted to do with my mum.
Yeah.
I was going to make Friday my mum's day. And I would have competed with my sister, because she spent every second with my mum. She's struggling because she spent so much time, like, physically with mum, because they live close together and stuff. And just, you know, she got 2 young boys and whatever. But yeah, I was just looking forward to those times. And I've said to Kelly, just do it. And she does it now. Friday afternoon, she goes shopping with mum and dad, go for a cake, sit down. And I wish she was able to do that, because we would have had so much fun. And sometimes I see some older people, I'm quite jealous.
Yeah.
I just hope they appreciate that life's it's so fleeting. And, you know, to get to your 80s and 90s is a real blessing.
Yeah. And we sound like we've got similar relationships to our parents, but I know not everyone has.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think, like, we've just been on that girls' weekend away, and we are different in that way.
Yeah.
Some people are closer to the parents
yeah.
within that group. You know, we've been best friends for 20 odd years.
Yeah.
And all of our relationships with our families can be different. So some of us are very much like this and some of us aren't. And I speak to my mum every day on the phone, or, I mean, they've gone away today. So I've, like, Dad's birthday's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So obviously, because they've gone today, it's go round yesterday and actually take the cards and the present, because they're going away.
Yeah.
And me and my mum went away last week with my boys. And it was lovely, actually, because Dad didn't want to come because he'd get stressed out in my dog and stuff, because he took the dog with me.
Yeah.
So me, Mum, my boys, my dog, got a caravan down in Devon.
Love it. Where about in Devon?
Devon Cliffs.
Oh man, that's where we grew up.
Yeah.
Woolacombe and stuff. Devon Cliffs. Yeah.
Devon Cliffs.
Sandy Bay.
Sandy
and all that.
Bay, that's where we were.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
We used to go to Twitcham Park and Woolacombe Bay and stuff like that. Loved it, man.
I've been to those as well, but Devon Cliffs, like Sandy Bay, for me, the haven site is literally, I would live there.
Yeah.
I love it. I went there with the girls last weekend. Yeah. So I went there with my mum and the boys, and then 10 days later I was there with the girls.
It's the most beautiful place, man.
And it was nice, because the ages the boys are at, they're just like, all right, we're going out now. Yeah. They've been brought up on Devon Cliffs.
Yeah.
So they know where to go to the arcades and the football pitch and whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't have to watch them.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, coming up 13 and 15. So they're like, right, Mum, we'll go in the arcade. Okay, bye. You know, they've gone out. Me and my mum have gone out to walk the dog.
Love it.
And we've gone down to, like, the beach bar. So we're overlooking the sea and the cliffs and everything. Have a pint.
Yeah.
Or maybe a couple of pints and walk back. And it was just so nice just to have that time.
Yeah.
But while we were away, she was telling me she gets this pain in her ear. And, you know, just something that's so, like, you wouldn't even mention it to someone. She was like, oh, I've got this pain in my ear there. I think it's from, like, sleeping on it. Anyway, when I was away with the girls the weekend, my mate's got this piercing pillow. And it's a pillow with a hole in for your ear.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get this for my mum. So, like, when I've gone round to take my dad's birthday presents and that yesterday, I was like, oh, I've got you this.
Oh, wow. So it gives the ear a bit of space sort of thing. Oh, wow. Cool.
And, like, so obviously
I'm shit like that, mate. I can't put earpods in and stuff like that. I really struggle.
Well, have a look at this piercing pillow. It was like $12.99 off Amazon.
Yeah, sweet.
And I've just dropped it round to her and she's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just those little things.
You know what, mate? I grew up, actually, and people used to think my relationship was too close to mum. So, like, and I think people looking in might have thought that. So, like, mum, even when I'm like 30, 40, I'd speak to mum. What are you doing tonight then, bub?
Yeah.
I'm going out. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Oh, going to thingy. Well, how are you going to get there? Well, I'm just driving. You can have a drink. Well, no, because I'm driving. You got your keys? Like, mum, I've lived on my own for like, so she was always my mum, and yeah, but equally, some people don't see their mum as much as I do, and they have different relationships. And I've always thought that's strange. Like, why would you not want? How can you not see your mum for 6 months?
Yeah,
but it's different strokes for different folks, and it's
exactly that, and it's much.
Sorry, go on. What was Dawn's mum? So Dawn's mum and dad lasted quite long.
No, her dad died when she was 3.
Okay, so I've got a feeling that actually mum's upbringing made her want to be so close to us, sort of thing.
It does.
Yeah, I think that dictated how she was with others.
I don't want to speak ill of my nan here because she died at 95. She's been gone a couple of years.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the upbringing that we had.
Yeah.
In terms of the love.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound disrespectful.
Yeah.
But my mom is always, she's like an Aunt Bessie.
Yeah.
Still now, she cooks a Sunday dinner for us all. We all go around there on a Sunday. There's always a spread on.
My favourite day, Sundays.
Yeah, Sunday,
Football and Sunday dinner.
And she's always told us she loves us from a young age. She never got that.
Yeah.
Now, my granddad died when she was little, so her older siblings had to step up.
Yeah.
And my nan had a very difficult role there because she had to provide for.
Yeah,
she's got 6 kids.
Yeah.
It
becomes very functional. I think she's got to go out and she
had to provide.
Yeah.
They always had a really quite a nice life, know. But in terms of the love, I know for a fact my mum flipped it.
Yeah.
And that's how I am with my kids.
Dialed it right up. Yeah, my mum did. Like, honestly, they didn't have much money. We lived in a place like Vauxhall Crescent over on Smith's Wood, sort of Castle Brom. Initially, it was no bigger than this room, but they grafted. Grafted. We never went without. We'd always go on holiday, and I'm so grateful. She used to have a guy come round and we'd buy a T-shirt on the tick, from the 3 months catalogue and stuff like that. And she worked so hard. So she installed those ethics and fundamentals, right, wrong, work ethic, kindness. And I think off the back of she was thrown out of her house at 13, 14.
Yeah.
She lost her mum on her 7th birthday. Her dad married the most horrendous woman by the sounds of it. It was an absolute cow. Her brothers and sisters were older, so they're moving on in their life. I'm grateful to one of the sisters who was brilliantly looking after my mum and looked out for her. But my mum met my dad very early, probably about 14, I think.
Yeah.
And she used to call dad's mum, mum.
Yeah.
So Bridget, her mum was called Beatrice, who's on my arm here. It sounded like a beautiful woman. But yeah, so she was lucky because she got some love eventually, but she missed out so much. And I think that's, she was never going to allow that to happen to anybody again. So that's why we were so close. Yeah.
And I think, there's just one thing that someone said to me. I can't even remember if it was something I watched or someone told me, but it's stuck with me ever since.
Yeah.
I never, ever ignore the phone ringing if it says mum, ever.
Oh, God, yeah, I'd give anything to see that. Yeah.
And that's why someone said to me, I would give anything to see my mum ringing my phone.
Yeah.
So now, even if it's an inconvenient time, because let's face it, sometimes are inconvenient.
Yeah.
And you might look at your phone and think, fucking hell.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's not that it would be an inconvenient time for anyone to ring me at that time, but I never ever would ignore the phone.
That's a wicked non-negotiable, man. Because I'm not going to be. The truth be told is there was sometimes Mum would call me, or I'd feel like I'd have to call her. Bloody hell!
Yes,
it's so funny because I used to speak to Mum, and I'd be like, all right, here she is. That's how it started. All right, son, how are you? And then I say, how are you, Mum? And then literally, I could just look out the window for the next hour because she'd talk about everything but me, weirdly. So sometimes I'd be like, what's the point of calling her? Or, our Rachel, our Tom, our Marley, our Billy, our Evie, Minnie, Blakey, Dad's mates, Dad's mum's cats, what? But I now know she was doing the same to my sister and to my brother. She'd talk about me all the time. Right. So she was almost like connecting, making sure I'm connected with what my brother's doing, making sure I know how proud she is of my sister. It always end with I love you. So sometimes I used to come out of them meetings and they're like, bloody hell. I used to say to my wife, I'm going to miss those so much one day.
Yeah.
And my body's still got that muscle memory where I go to call her. And those are them times where I just lose it.
Because I was going to ask you that because I feel like I do that. I have certain times, which is quite dangerous, really, because especially for your sister.
Text her in the morning, maybe, or whatever.
Yeah,
it might be,
if your sister was very much a routine-y with her, then that's your whole life's on its arse then because you're like, that's my routine gone.
100%.
So I try not to stick to a certain time, but there are times when I do call her.
Of course, yeah. On the way home or
On the way home.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes I know they were going away this morning, so I didn't call her on my way into the studio.
Yeah.
But generally, on my way in, I always ring my mum.
Yeah. And they wait for that, so that's their routine as well.
It is.
My sisters was very much like, so, everything's triggering her at the moment. My sister's a teacher. Mum was in education for years, like teacher's assistant, what's the word, like dinner lady sort of thing. She was a jeweler by trade growing up, but then dad sort of semi-retired or sort of thing. She was, not a housewife, but she made a home, and she was the most amazing sort of person in that sense. So my sister now misses all that, talking about the challenges of running a class or, and equally, as I said, it's just bizarre. Those routines you'll always
It's a
miss.
routine.
Yeah, those moments.
I really try not to now and try and because I know I'm going to struggle, but then that's anticipatory grief that I'm doing. I'm playing it out.
Don't overthink it, mate. Literally, it's like, why deny yourself those moments?
Yeah.
I think the things that I miss most are actually the only reason why I miss them so much, because I love them so much.
Yeah.
So when we go on holiday now, that was my mum's favourite place, like Devon by the sea. It absolutely triggers the life out of me, but I lean into it because I love it too.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing and a curse, isn't it? I'm glad I had the mum that I did. I just wish I had a bit longer.
Yeah. So what's next?
So I've got a few things, really, to be fair. Mum used to tell me to slow down and not to set up any more charities and stuff. But I've got some exciting news about a charity that I'm going to be supporting. So a charity that's quite close to my heart. They've asked me to be chair of that charity, the Lord Mayor of Birmingham's charity, which is really quite posh. It sounds a lot posher than it is, but it does what Love Brum did, supports local projects and stuff.
Yeah.
I could have gone back and helped Love Brum, but it's slightly different now, that journey. They're doing more of a hidden hero things, which is fantastic. So that's a bit of a challenge for me to sort of bring this charity into the 21st century, because it's been going for 30 years. It's got that association with the council that some people don't like, but it hasn't actually got an association with the council. So there's a real big story to tell there, which I'm excited to do. I'm launching a consultancy business with my mate called Spaghetti Function. See what I did there, Bab? And that's all around consultancy around resilience training, imposter syndrome, helping workforces better relate to their young leaders, making sure that the paralegal can connect with the partner, because this guy's on the golf course negotiating hard. This guy's digitally native, can't look someone in the eye. So how do we better connect workforces? And also I want to do, obviously, the Mommy's Boy stuff. Yeah. But I'm doing more stuff with BBC, which is great. Yes. Had a little summer show throughout the summer, which was fantastic. Got another one at Christmas.
I'm excited
it's all
about
good,
that.
man. I lost out to Gabby Roslin recently. If you're listening, Gab, I dare you.
Yeah.
There was a national one on community and stuff, which I really wanted but didn't get. But it's exciting, mate. I'm helping my wife grow her business, Mortgage Bab, if you need a mortgage, or insurance. So I'm busy, but I'm not a busy fool anymore. I used to think that being busy was being productive. That's not the case. Yeah. So I know you do a few bits and bobs. It's just all about making sure we can do it without burning out.
It is, and I'm trying to get a bit better at that.
Yeah.
Trying to.
It's not easy, mate. You're passionate.
Yeah, exactly. And because I love teaching the spin.
Yeah.
So, and I'm on the bike every day, which obviously takes some of my energy.
It's great for your mental health, though, isn't it?
But
as
it's
well,
great. It's my medication.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what? I did a class this morning, and there's a bloke that comes every week, and he hasn't been coming.
Yeah.
And he came this morning, and he said, I've been struggling a bit with sciatica and whatnot. And when he left, I was like, was that as bad as you thought it was going to be? And he was like, no, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And there were so many people that, in fact, my brother, let's just use him as an example. He comes to my Wednesday night class.
Yeah.
And so you have you start to make a community for each class. So for example, some people can only do a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
It's their routine.
It's their routine.
Yeah.
So I'm there every day. So I'm seeing all the different dynamics.
Yeah.
So the Wednesday night class is a dynamic of its own because my brother's there. My best mate comes to that class as well. I've made friends throughout this class.
Love that.
So last night, it was a really good high energy class.
Love it.
And I always put a picture on Facebook, and then they all start making friends with each other, and in the comments they're engaging, which is again community, bringing people together. And I put something on there I bet none of you fancied it because it was a miserable day, wasn't it? It was pissing down. I didn't want to go out myself.
Yeah.
I bet none of you fancied it tonight, but I bet all of you felt better when you left.
Yeah.
And my brother literally said on the way out, he'd said to my goddaughter, who also
Yeah.
comes, she's early 20s, and she also comes to the class. I said to her, I didn't feel like it, but I literally was buzzing when I walked out, and the playlist and like the music
It is a
just
therapy,
lifts
innit?
you. It is a therapy.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that like we got a dog in lockdown. I'm an ambassador of the Birmingham Dogs Home as well, which is first ever one, Bab. How cool's that? In 130 years. I don't know why they chose me, but I realised I was moving more, so I was going for walks with the dog, and I should train more often than I put 2 stone on since I lost Mum, because I now know what comfort eating is. I mean, I've lost a bit, but yeah, like moving is amazing. If I that's one thing I need to keep in my routine: walking the dog, and jumping on the Peloton or doing some weight training, because it just helps me just focus or leave all that other sort of
and even 30 minutes a day, because that's
all
I do.
Yeah,
I do 30 minutes on the bike a day, but I walk my dog for roughly 30 to 45 a day.
Yeah.
So getting outside, and walking.
So important, isn't it?
And I find with walking the dog, it's talking to people and seeing what's going on around your community.
Yeah.
Because I walk around the local area.
Okay.
So I see the shit that's been dumped at the side of the road, and I see Betty.
Like neighbourhood watch,
stop
mate.
and have a
Loving
chat.
it. Yeah. All right, Bets, how are you, mate?
and I
Seeing
do
them
stop
bin
and
bags
chat.
down the road.
Yeah, that's me.
I love it. Yeah, but that is the power of community. We don't do that as much anymore, do we? I remember like MPs knocking on the door. Why don't they do that anymore? Like little things like that's gone, and that is a frustration of mine. So people like that, making sure they're invested in the community, making sure everyone's all right. If you do that whilst you're walking as well, everyone's winning. So movement is key. Like it hasn't saved me, but it certainly helps.
It will help.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah.
Fresh air or outdoors, exercise or movement.
100%.
Not drinking too much, which
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
I binge drink, I do.
Yeah, man.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm having like a few Saturday down the blues, and I know I'll be up until 2 o'clock. Like,
and that affects your sleep then.
Yeah. Oh God, look at the state of me, man. I'm up at 4 a.m. I am. I've always been an early riser anyway, morning. Don't do me like that. That don't happen anymore. 46. but yes, but I'm not sleeping very well at all. But yeah. I mean,
it will, and all of these things, but it all adds up, doesn't it? So if you're doing all those things and getting your sleep, it will all come together, and you will feel better mentally.
Yeah, sleep and exercise. It's just all the basics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eat good stuff, and I think, I mean, if anyone's going through grief at the moment and is struggling, reach out to me. But really focus on those the simple basic things. If you are addicted to things, of course, just try and introduce a new addiction into your life, which is a bit more healthy,
and
whether it be food or moving.
Yeah.
Is that how you got into fitness then?
Yeah, it was. I was really struggling with my mental health, and I was going through some extreme therapy.
Yeah.
It was in the police days. I was affected through what I was seeing.
All right, yeah.
And
of course,
when I started having my own children, I thought everyone was a paedophile.
Yeah.
Or, and I wouldn't let them out of my sight.
Yeah,
and I would be so suspicious of anybody.
Yeah.
To the point where it was really unhealthy.
Got
I
you.
talk a lot about it on different episodes, but I entered into probably what turned out to be a decade's worth of therapy.
Okay.
But it started off with them telling me, exercise, I didn't drink for months. I was in the gym to the point where it became an addiction.
Yeah.
And I've kept with it,
Yeah.
but not to the point where if I don't go, back then, if I didn't go, I'd really give
You'd
myself
beat
a hard
yourself
time.
up. Yeah.
And I'd factor it into holidays and everything. I don't do that now
Yeah.
because I'm on the bike all the time.
I was going to say, you've got to that point now where you can have a day off, sort of thing.
I can have a week off,
Yeah,
and I'll
yeah.
be fine. I'll enjoy it, and I'll think
Yeah.
I'm having a week off, and I'll
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
and drink what I want,
Yeah.
and then I'll be back on it.
Yeah.
But because I am there as the instructor, I have to turn up, which is better for me.
Yeah, well, you're accountable, aren't you? I think
Yeah.
that's when I start making myself accountable for things, whether it's like saying no to certain things or like having non-negotiables in my life. You say you always take your mum's call, but that is almost, although that feels like a positive as in a yes, you're also saying no to other things. That yes means no to that. So whatever that addiction feels like, if it brings you joy, I think certainly what I've gone through the last 14 months has been vital to my progress, in that I've found these little snippets of joy that does some things. And for me, that's movement.
Yeah.
And eating well.
Yeah.
I've been off the sesh, like the drinking. Like I didn't drink that bad much, to be fair, and I'm still a binge drinker, but I've been trying to be careful on that because it leads into all the wrong things, like the food, the lack of sleep,
Exactly
whatever it might
that.
be.
I'm a bugger for drinking in the house.
Yeah.
And I
That's
know.
my problem.
Yeah.
There's a Waitrose opposite my. It's a Shell garage, but it's Waitrose, darling.
All right.
There's a Waitrose in there as well, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, you go out. You've got like 4 of these beer Morettis, like that big.
Yeah.
And it's open all night. So
I'm a bugger for them.
Yeah, they're lovely.
3
don't
for
they?
£6 down.
3 for £6, mate.
3
Yeah.
for £6 down the co-op. No, it's not even the co-op. It's the One Stop.
Yeah.
But I'm on my estate.
Are you by the One Stop? Are you?
I've got a One Stop at the top of it,
Yeah.
up in Bartley, and then I've got one down at.
Oh, because I'm thinking there's One Stop on the Walsall Road by where I live on the street in Street.
Oh no,
You're over.
I'm Northfield.
Northfield.
Yeah.
And you're a Villa fan.
Yeah, well, it's because of the kids, I think.
No, I ain't having that. You got to be a blue nose in Northfield, surely. Surely.
There's a real mix by me.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I live in Street. It's all Villa fans. My wife's a Villa fan.
Hmm.
And I'm not one of those guys that hate the Villa that much, to be fair. All
Yeah.
my mates are Villa. But yeah, Northfield fans, Northfield residents should be
Yeah.
blue noses, surely.
But a 3 for £6.
Yeah, amazing.
3 for £6, and they're
Amazing.
big bottles.
Yeah, but that leads into the pizzas,
Yes.
2 for 10 and all that, and the
Yes.
curry back, the 15 quid curries and all that.
Yes,
So,
it does.
yeah, I mean, I'm getting better at that. My wife is she's never had to worry about a figure. I look at white bread and put weight on, putting weight on my ears and stuff. But she's a bit more conscious now in the exercise and stuff on the Peloton and all that. So it just helps. Just healthy way of living, it just gives me that clarity, which I need at the moment. I'm in a dark place. Naturally, I'm sad. Yeah. So the more clarity I get in my life, the easier it is to carry that weight. I used an albatross around my neck. They say, grief is like you're either carrying something that gets lighter, as in it's easier to carry. It's still the same size. It's like that hole in the heart. It's still there, but your heart is bigger because it's full of love and experiences and whatever it might be. However you want to look at it, it's tough. But if you find that thing that brings joy, and that's hard to find. I'm just appreciating that 14, 15 months on, that joy can exist alongside sadness. Yeah. And it has to, because, I've got kids, and I've been very open. Like, I've not hid my emotions. I've told them that it's good to be vulnerable, and, blokes should talk and all that. But I can't keep crying in front of them all the time. I've got a dad to play, and goes back to what you said when Dawn lost her parents. I've not lived through it, but now knowing how good my mum and dad were, even though they were still missing their mum and dad, I'm just even more grateful for that. So it's my responsibility now to make sure that the core memories mum left with me, I pass on to my kids as well.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right, have you got a spin justice of the week?
Spin justice, I like that.
A spin justice. So, I mean, I personally was thinking, as you were talking about your mum being so young when she died. And so I was literally thinking while you were talking.
That's probably pissed me off a bit, to be fair. Spin justice, I've just clocked that. Is that injustice?
Yeah.
I got it. I like it, mate.
Spin.
I like it, yeah.
I was in the police for 20 years.
I didn't really get it until you've just told me, of course. Injustice, you get it? Yeah. So I saw Matt and stuff like that talking about bits about the councils. Oh, so my spin justice, customer service.
Talk to me.
People, man. Like, people should just be nicer.
I was giggling.
People should just be nice to one another.
Yeah.
So I bought a utility room, right? Or I've had my utility room decked out. Yeah, I won't say the brand because I'm having a bit of a moan with them at the moment. But it's not cheap nowadays. Nothing's cheap now. How much is 500 grams of mince? Go on, tell me that.
500 grams of mince. I go to the butcher's, and I always buy in like a few.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Uncles have got a butcher's, Castle Meats on the square.
Oh, nice it.
But in Sainsbury's, it's about £4 something.
Yeah, £5.18 the other day. I was like, what's going on? Sainsbury's, I think.
Yeah, I shop in Sainsbury's.
Well, my wife does all that. That sounds really patronising, doesn't it, and chauvinistic. But yeah, I picked some stuff up and I was like, ketchup, £3. What's going on?
A joke,
£4. Lurpak. What the hell?
I bet you get through some ketchup in your house, don't you, Carl?
Do you put it in the fridge, Carl?
Ketchup in the fridge.
Yes, bruv.
I don't.
100%. All sauces, mayo in the fridge, ketchup in the fridge, everything in. We've got 2 tomato ketchups, one in the fridge, one in the drawer for the wife. Can't cope.
Oh, well, that set you back, 2 of them.
Do you mean?
Are they big
mate.
ones?
Like that. Yeah, the big ones. It's like hot and cold, hot chips, cold mayo, hot chips, cold ketchup. Come on, let's have it.
Yeah.
But the big in spin justice is, so got this utility room. Didn't cost a few quid, yeah. And they've just fit it wrong. So I wanted the worktop to be flush along the whatever, yeah. And it was drew like that. It was signed off like that. We had builders come in that they knew that, but they didn't do it like that. So through the process, I was phoning the brand and saying, look, I'm not happy with this. Blah blah blah. Anyway, they were slow. I had so much issue with it, to the point where actually I'm dealing with all this on the side with my mum and stuff. It's okay, it'll do. And the lady was telling me, look, what we'll do is, I know it's not the kitchen, they call it, the utility room you want.
Yeah.
But, we'll sort it out after, we'll give you a big kickback on what you paid. Okay, fine, no worries. Look, it's, it is what it is. And I think that's the benefit of losing mum. I've got a little less stressed about things like that. So what? I'm lucky to have a roof over my head, let alone buying whatever. So when I speak to them after and it's all done, they're like, I'm a piece of shit.
Really?
Yeah, like they've offered me £100. I'm like, you're joking? It's like,
no,
what I've paid for this. Like the worktop alone is like whatever, but it's just the way they deal with it. It's like on to the next one. They don't care.
Yeah.
And actually the good old days where like you'd go into a restaurant and say, I'm ever so sorry, but like I didn't want to, I wanted a plain burger. I forgot to order it. This was a brilliant one. My son's he's a brilliant kid, but that he struggled a little bit with confidence and stuff. And he was with his nan and granddad, and he values money, I think. And his nan and granddad had bought him a burger or whatever, and he doesn't like all the dressing and stuff.
Yeah.
And they'd forgot to order a plain burger, so it came with mayonnaise on and all that. He was really embarrassed. I can't eat that, nanny. Like, so nan and granddad, excuse me, I'm ever so sorry. We've made a mistake. You couldn't have another one, could he? Oh no. Okay, well, all right, we get that. So my son's really embarrassed, and she goes, okay, well, I'll try and scrape all the sauce off, and it's all everywhere. She said, I'll tell you what, we'll scrape it off the burger. Can you just pass us a clean, like, fresh bun? No. Like, no, sorry, I only want a fresh bun. It's 2p or whatever. No, that's what you ordered. That's what you're getting.
Oh.
Like, I just can't deal with that anymore. And I think that's born out of like the way we're living. I just don't think whether the social media thing is affecting the way we communicate, and it's just a bugbear.
And I think as well, it's what mindset you're in. So sometimes you'll let it go.
Yeah.
And sometimes I actually kick off over stuff.
Yeah, I think you should, mate. I think we let it go too much. I think like it's a British thing. We're embarrassed to say something. But back in the day, we wouldn't have to. Remember the good old days when people would serve the food and go, look, we're really sorry it's late. It's massively delayed. So we've took 50% off your bill. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not saying it should, but we were the ones that, excuse me, our food's really cold, and they'll just go and put it in the mic. Like, just give us a bit of care. We're paying a lot of money. It's hard as it is. I know you've got your issues and all that, but equally, you're in that position to help me. Let's just be friendly. Let's just be nicer to one another. And I think that extends not just to customer service, just to humanity. It does. The world's on fire, man.
Yeah.
Just be nice.
God, isn't it?
Just be nice to one another. Just help each other out.
And I have started kicking off a lot more because I feel like I might not seem it, but I feel like I've been quite calm for a couple of years.
About what?
Just
in
things
general.
in general. But people still think I'm absolutely nuts and mental, but I'm not kicking off.
Different levels.
But I kicked off yesterday, and I would come out of Sainsbury's, and there's a homeless man. Now, I'm going to say this, and people are not going to like it, but I always get actually really pissed off when homeless people ask me for money.
All right.
Because it winds me up because I think, I'm struggling as well, mate. Like I'm running a house by myself. I'm working 3 jobs. Like it actually makes me angry.
Yeah.
So yesterday, who carries cash anyway? Do you know what I mean? I've come out of Sainsbury's. I ain't got no cash on me. There's a homeless man, and he's goes, "Excuse me, have you got any spare change?" No, sorry. I'm polite.
Yeah. So
but I walked to my car.
You've acknowledged them and
so
spoke
put my shopping in the car, and I'm bringing the trolley back. Now there's a little old lady. And he must have said to her, excuse me, 4 times.
Wow.
To the point where she's gone over to him and I feel like under duress gave him a trolley pound.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Now, at this point, I've got to put my trolley back and I'm quite close. And he goes to her, you couldn't help me out with a £20 note, could you? Just as some other woman's just walking out of Sainsbury's with her trolley. She looked at me, I looked at her. I thought, fucking hell, Hayley, what'd you do? Because...
This lady would have probably given it him, but she's
I think she said, I haven't got it or whatever. She started walking back to her car and I thought, no, I can't let this go. And I'll fucking let rip on this bloke outside Sainsbury's. And I was like, mate, don't fucking ask people for £20 notes. Yeah. She gave you her money out of the trolley, under duress actually.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me. He didn't say a word. I thought he might, I thought this could go one way or another. But then the woman that walked past me, she's like, yeah, like she's chipping in now. And he didn't say anything, but I was fucking fuming.
Yeah. I mean, there are genuine people that are struggling, aren't they? But there are people that you've realised actually there's, I mean, it shouldn't be happening on that car park either. Whoever it was should have helped that out.
Yeah, that's going to be my injustice of the week. Actually, I'm gonna use that as my.
Yeah, I think there's plays there, isn't there? As to there is a genuine problem there, but there's different ways of getting help, I think, than forcing a lady to give her the 20 quid. You don't know what she's going through that day, and she's giving you £1. That transaction has happened.
And also, like, my trolley pound stays in the car.
Because who carries cash?
We need a trolley pound.
Yeah, I know a little fix I do to do that
Key.
on free. Yeah.
House
So
key.
yeah, I went to school in Chelmsford Wood, didn't I?
Yeah.
So like,
Well,
no,
I
is it a
have
house key? Just a
token.
normal house key.
House key works.
Yeah, I was just going to say mine isn't as cool as that. It's just a little token thing.
Yeah,
know,
so
that
I've
you
got
get
a
like a promo thing.
Yeah,
whatever it is,
I've got a token,
Yeah.
and that stays in the car.
Yeah.
My mum and dad leave the trolley pound in the car. It's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of them
the
things.
trolley pound.
The trolley
I love
pound.
It. I love the trolley
And
pound.
that woman has given it to him.
Yeah,
And then he
she's
still
got to try and
asks
find
for
it.
more.
Yeah, but yeah, so there's a lot of injustices at the moment. It's weird, isn't it, how those little things do sit with you? Because I think what underpins those frustrations are it comes back to people. You know, you're protecting that relationship that bloke enforced. I don't know if it was a bloke, I just assumed, but a gentleman forced on that lady. You know, you don't know how that lady was feeling at that time. I know what my mum would have been like. She might have felt that quite. She would have told him where to go, but equally, I also feel she may have felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it comes back to both our points that just try and understand, like, it works both ways. Everyone,
Yeah.
just be a bit more sensitive, I suppose, to people.
But
you know-
also, if you need to kick off, please do.
Yeah, I'm rubbish at that. To be fair, I couldn't part my way out of a paper bag. I hate confrontation.
I'm terrible. I'm like,
I do get frustrated, but like, yeah, maybe I need to get a bit more. Maybe I need to get a bit more of a backbone and stuff and start. I've always sat on the fence, I think, on certain things which I am really passionate about. But I
Yeah.
find it difficult to
but
sort of
then if
communicate.
we were all the same,
Yeah,
it wouldn't work.
I get it.
So,
Get it.
and the world's on its arse at the minute
It
anyway.
really is, yeah, it really is.
So have you got a shout out?
Shout out to who?
Anyone you want? Anyone to shout out?
I mean, just generically, I've got to thank my family at the moment. My best mates, like they know who they are. Like genuinely, they've just been amazing. Like my wife is just incredible. Like I dropped her a little note last night, like a little love note, just to say how amazing you've been.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, just wanted to know like what she does for me and my family. You know, my daughter's on a bit of a residential. Yeah, well, you know what it's like bringing two kids up. It's hard. But there's one guy, Andy Whelan, his name is, ex-copper, like forces, army, and he's a teacher now, and or lecturer, and he's going through his thing as well. He's got two young kids, and you know he's lost his mum 3 years ago. She was a bit older than my mum, but it doesn't matter. He lost his mum, and he always lights a candle for my mum. He always checks in on me. He like literally almost to the point where we're connected in the sense that he must be having a bad day, thinks of me, and when he sends me the message, I'm having such a bad day. So there's this sort of like energy, and he's just a guy that always looks out for other people, and you know, I just hope he knows that people have got his back as well. He's just a good guy. Like
we need more people like that in the world.
Yeah, value framework. Like he's around all these charities, NSPCC, Birmingham Dogs Home. He supports all those without necessarily taking the selfie of the person that he's helping, sort of thing. You know, he just goes along. His value framework's good, man. It's people first, and just want to thank him because he's just been good to me. He really has.
Yeah, lovely. Mine this week, my shout out is for Solace Tanning. So they're just a new sponsor that we've got on board. So it's
cool.
a tanning shop in towards Harborne, Northfield Road in Harborne.
Where are they? Harborne?
Yeah.
Love a sunbed, me, bab. Although it comes out of a bottle now. Although this is just, I look tired, but this is just blood pressure. But what they're called? Solace Tanning.
Solace Tanning.
All right.
And yeah, new sponsor on board. So my shout out is for them. So if you like a sunbed, pop down. Peeps, please.
Love that. I love that. So there's me, like, Andy, man, he's such a nice guy. You're like, get your ass down to this sunbed shop, man.
Sunbed.
No, I tell you, I used to love sunbed shops, man. Put the cream on.
6-minute
chill
holiday.
Out. Your 6-minute holiday, man. Come out, you're sweating.
Yeah.
Love it.
Costa down Northfield.
Oh, but and it stink as well. Those. Love it. It is your 6-minute holiday. Brilliant. Hayley, mate, you're a star. Thank you so much for letting me come on this podcast, man. Because like, I find them very therapeutic.
Yeah,
so thank you.
talking is therapy.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
And thanks, Carl.
If you have a topic that you want to discuss, get in touch at b31spinjustice@gmail.com or via Instagram @spinjustice.